and welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited to be releasing a new literature unit for you. This one was very, very highly requested by many of my readers. It is Pinocchio, of course, an all-time classic. This literature unit is using the Classic Starts version of the books. If you have not heard of these, they're really cool. They are great for younger readers. I think they usually say elementary level on them. Some of the books have different ages on the back, but that's about what they're all geared toward. And they basically just take an classic book and then they kind of abridge it so that it's a little bit easier for younger students to read, but they still get to read these fun classics. And so I have had my kids read the abridged versions, and then once they get older, they can read the original versions when they're ready. So anyways, let's take a closer look at the inside of this Lapbook. I'll talk to you a little bit about how to put it together, what's all included, and all of those goodies. So let's take a look inside. So as I mentioned already briefly, this unit is written to go with the Classic Starts Pinocchio as retold from the Carlo Collodi original. I've been asked several times if you can use a different version of the book that I wrote the units for, and the answer is yes, you can, but then you'll probably have to kind of pre-read through the questions and just make sure they're matching up okay. These are abridged versions, and so there might be a little bit different information in the original versions if you choose to go that route, but I think you could probably still kind of finagle it to make it work for you. There is also a link in the teacher's manual as soon as you download this product, and it will take you to the exact version of the book, and it is like that for all of my literature units. So if you're not sure which one I used, when you purchase it, it's in a materials section in the teacher's manual, and you can click right there and find the exact one I used. So all of my literature units come with this teacher's manual, and it basically tells you what to do, how to prepare things, what to do before reading, and just a little bit of information and whatnot. And each chapter has its own section with Lapbook instructions and then comprehension questions for that chapter along with answers. So if you are not doing this as a group project, or you'd like to assign it out to your student to work independently, they can read the chapter on their own, and then you have the questions and answer key for you, so you don't have to pre-read the chapters. And it goes on like that for every single chapter in the book. And then when you get to the end, there's instructions on some final activities for you to do, an optional movie night, and things like that. So all of my units do have this teacher's manual that come with them. Getting into the Lapbook itself, this is just a regular trifold Lapbook. There is a link in the curriculum on how to create this, and I will also link below how to make this Lapbook as well, but it's basically just a file folder and another file folder that I just trimmed down and taped up here along the top. Super easy to make. You just kind of fold in the sides of the file folder. I get a lot of questions on the covers, how to put those on, and I basically glue it to one side, open it up, cut along this edge, and then glue it to the other side so they kind of match up like that in the center. But here's what that looks like. And then on the inside, this particular unit has 18 chapters, and so each chapter has its own comprehension little book here with questions inside for your students to answer, and they're all just different little fold-out books, so they're all a little bit interesting. You can color them, you can have they can leave them plain. Really, it's honestly up to your student and how much work they feel like doing and how much you feel like requesting of them. And then when we flip this up, here is the top of it. We've got a couple more books here for them to answer, and then here is the middle. And again, each chapter has its own little mini book with questions, and I did do this one slightly differently. I wanted the questions to be able to be inside of the books, and so the questions are actually on little question strips that they can cut out and glue inside. Previously in my books, I just had the questions on the worksheet that the book was on, and so they would cut out the book, and then if you lose the header that has the question, you know, it just makes it a little bit more difficult. So for this one, and probably all my books going forward, I'll do these little sentence strips so that you can glue them on the inside of the book so you know what your kids are answering. And then all of the units have this vocabulary list, and I have picked out a basic list of words that your kiddos might not know, maybe unusual words, and things like that. There are definitions in the teacher's manual for every one of these. You can have your students look them up, and I like to do the vocabulary list before we read the book, just so that when they get to the words in the story, they know what they mean. But you can certainly do these as they go along. You could have them do it more of a, like as a word hunt, where if as soon as they find this word in the story, then they would go look it up. It's really flexible, and you can kind of use that vocabulary strip however you like. But all the literature units do include a vocabulary. And then folding this back up, on the back side, I have just glued a half, well, taped around the edges, a half of another file folder, and I use those to keep all of our reports in there. And the reports included with this story are a prediction sheet where students will predict the outcome or what the book is about based on the title, and then at the end of the unit, there's another assignment for them to go back and kind of check and see how accurate their predictions are. Can you judge a book by a cover? There's also a few facts about worksheet that talks about the author, the setting, the main plot, the main characters, etc., and a place for them to do a illustration. There's also a protagonist versus antagonist worksheet. The definitions are in your teacher's manual. Your students will be listing who they are, why they're at odds, and what is the solution or outcome as they're going. And then I have a book report page for them with some questions to help prompt them, a summary section, and then the report section. And then I've got an extra page in case this one isn't enough. It's just a continued page so that you can print this off as many times as they need for their report. And then I also have a fun book versus movie report if you choose to do that. I always think it's fun if you can get a hold of the movie after you've read the book to do a little bit of comparing on similarities, differences, which one they liked better and why. Did the main characters kind of match what they were thinking as they were reading the book and things like that. So that's always a really fun worksheet. And then I also include a timeline with these, and this is like a storyboard where students can draw pictures. They could also write in specific events or whatever, but just for a way for them to quickly track the main events in a story. And I think these are kind of fun to do because it's a really easy way to go back and try and remember quickly what has happened in a story that they've read previously. And it also just gives them another outlet for being creative with their unit. So all of these I like to stack up and just keep in the back here, and then we kind of have this whole literature unit all as one nice little package, and it just makes it easy to store in their desk drawers or however you store your homeschool supplies. And then when they're done with these, we kind of have them all set up on a bookshelf and people can go back and look through them and things like that. All right guys, so that's it, my new Pinocchio literature unit. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them below and I will get back to you. I have probably over 40 different Lapbook units like this on my website, so I will put a link for that below as well. When you get there, just click on literature units, or you can even search for a specific book name to see if I have one that you are specifically interested in. So anyways, thanks for hanging out with me today and watching this video. I hope you enjoy these units, and I will see you next time.